No, that seems like a good video.
Do you have a special occasion? Are you wasting your time eating chips?
Maybe.
Are you still watching this video? Do you need to lose weight in 10 days? I have just a trick for you. All you need is a pair of running shoes and some weight to lose.
Oh, hey, that little squirrel. It bit me. Oh. I feel dizzy. What's that? I gotta call the doctor.
So what do we have here? Some medieval act gone wrong. She's in septic shock. High fever, swollen lymph nodes, and a rash of resembles necrosis.
Her lymph nodes are massively swollen and tender. We're worried about buboes.
She also has a recent travel history, only a couple weeks ago.
Traveling while infected, that's always a great sign. Has she encountered any rodents? Does anybody know about a plague outbreak?
She hasn't reported any recent contact with rodents or fleas, but in the area that she was in, there has been plague outbreaks before.
Still, that's a pretty big coincidence. It's been, 100 years since the last major plague? Still wouldn't hurt to check cultures for Yersinia.
Well, we've already sent blood cultures to pathology. It doesn't look like the plague. And there haven't been any cases in the region lately.
But it still wouldn't hurt to check, right? Assuming it's not the plague, what else could it be? First things first, we need to rule out the obvious. Bubonic plague is the leading candidate, but it could be something else.
Something else? What's more likely than the plague?
Well, let's start with the basics. It could be a tropical disease, maybe melanoidosis.
That's pretty rare in the US. It's most common in Southeast Asia, but it does present similarly with a fever, rash, and swollen lymph nodes.
Yeah, but her exposure history doesn't suggest it. No trip to Thailand or Malaysia, so it's very unlikely. I'm thinking tularemia. It's carried by rodents, or she could have gotten it from a flea bite, or just handling animals in the wild.
Possible tularemia does cause fever, swollen lymph nodes, and chills, but it wouldn't explain her necrotizing skin lesions. It's just about the lungs.
Okay, so that rules out tularemia. What else could it be?
Well, let's think less bacterial, probably more viral. She has been traveling a lot, so there's plenty of viruses that could cause similar symptoms. There's Ebola, but her symptoms are too mild.
And the rash doesn't fit either. Ebola is much more extreme, and this is more gradual. There's dengue fever, the fever, rash, and joint pain, and it also has a travel history attached.
It's possible, but she hasn't traveled anywhere where dengue is common, and there's no joint pain either.
Not to mention, dengue doesn't cause massive lymphatic swelling. It's a contender, but not a strong one.
Her symptoms are so close to the plague. She has lymphatic swelling, fever, and skin necrosis, but it's so rare. How would she even get this?
You said she was jogging? There have been a few cases of the plague where people have been exposed to fleas, especially in Sierra Nevada.
I mean, it makes sense. The plague still run in isolated pockets. To be safe, I say we treat her for Yersinia pestis and see if she responds.
That's it? No more wild guesses? No more possibilities?
No, it's the plague.
Blood cultures are in. It's not melioidosis or tularemia. It's Yersinia.
See, I told you, a little bit of modern science, a little bit of medieval mischief, works every time.
But how? It's been nearly eradicated. It doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what they say, what comes around goes around. Plague doesn't care if it's old news. It's a wild guess, but it's the right one.
She must have been exposed to a flea or rodent, maybe even camping gear. I can't believe it was under our noses this whole time.
So what do we do now?
Treatment. We start with the right antibiotic, then we put her into isolation. This isn't just a medical mystery. This is a public health risk. Let's just hope we caught it early on. She's not out of the woods, but I think we got it under control.
Still, it doesn't make sense. How do we get a plague case in this day and age?
It doesn't matter about the age. Diseases evolve too, just like people.
It's scary. How many outdated diseases are there?
You want a list? Fine. Smallpox, polio, tuberculosis. Trust me, You don't want to know the rest. The past stays buried until it has a chance to come back.